Hi, I'm Tauni at Yoga 413, and today I'm leading you in a total body yoga practice. We will work on our strength, our balance, and of course, our flexibility. And this will be a slower pace class, making it accessible to everyone. If you need a yoga block or a towel or a strap, grab it now, and let's get started.
Beginning our class in a child's pose. The knees are wide, hips resting on your heels. Softly close your eyes. Take a breath in and exhale, let it go. Letting go of any distractions and instead focusing on your body and your breath. Begin to extend your arms forward. Hips stay back. Gently spread your fingers. Begin to lift up into a tabletop, bringing your hands into your shoulders, knees in under your hips. Drop the belly towards the floor, lift the tailbone, and gaze forward for cow pose. Begin to round the spine up for cat, drawing the chin towards the chest. Moving back into cow, dropping the belly. Feel the muscles in the back engage. And then exhale, round, belly lifts up and in. Find a nice neutral spine. Thread the needle by taking the right arm underneath with the palm up, lowering the shoulder and the head to the mat. So choose to leave the left hand on the mat for support, or maybe wrap it around behind you to open the left shoulder. Find the pose that works best for you. Coming back up into the tabletop, and then thread the needle with the left arm underneath, lowering to the mat, hips lifted. Once again, keeping that right hand for support or wrapping that arm around behind the back. Coming back into that tabletop, moving through cow and cat pose again, opening the chest into cow pose, and then as you exhale, round the spine. Again, inhale, cow pose, lift the tailbone. Exhale, round. One more time in each pose, moving with your breath. Finding that neutral spine, walking the hands forward, lower to the mat. Bringing your hands by your chest, lift into cobra pose. So if you prefer a higher cobra, please take it. Just feel the pose that works for you today. Lowering to the mat, press up and lift into downward facing dog. Feet are hip distance apart, hands shoulder distance. Begin to alternate slowly, bending your knees. And then find stillness, find a nice long spine, tailbone lifting up in downward facing dog. Begin to turn your gaze forward and step your right foot between the hands as your back knee finds the mat. So I realize for some of you that might be a big step, so take your time. Find the knee over that front ankle and your fingertips here on the mat for support. Begin to walk your hands back and straighten your forward right leg. Lift the toes for half split. Again, hands for support. Walk forward, dropping into that kneeling lunge, and walking back to your half split. One more time, forward and back. Coming back forward, turn the right toes to that inner corner of the mat. Come into Skandasana, again with the hands for support, and begin to walk to the back of your mat, to the other side. Again, forward. So this is great for your hips, your inner thigh stretch. Work your way to the back of your mat and step back for downward facing dog. Stepping the left foot forward, dropping that back knee to the mat, hands for support, or maybe even onto a block, kneeling lunge. Walking backwards, straightening that left leg for your half split, lean forward, and then come back forward. Again, walking back to your half split, gently stretching the hamstring, forward into those hip flexors. One more time, walk back and forward. Turning the toes inward, lifting up into Skandasana, that lateral lunge. Begin to use your hands to walk forward and back at your own pace. We'll do one more in each direction. Working your way back to the front of your mat, stepping back to downward facing dog. Feeling the spine long and pressing the chest towards your thighs. Heels reaching for the mat, even though they may never ever touch, that's fine. Step forward, bringing your feet to your hands. Come into ragdoll, cradling the elbows in the palms, knees gently bent. Allow the top of your head to reach for the floor, and then gently sway side to side. Back to the center, find stillness. Bringing your hands to your shins, half lift, straightening the legs, flattening your back, shoulders pull back, forward fold. Inhale, reach the arms over your head, rise up. Take that left arm to the hip and extend over for a side body lateral stretch. Lifting, lengthening, and going to the other side. Mountain pose, Tadasana. The right foot, the toes will remain forward, open, stepping the left back for warrior two. Shoulders over hips, knee over ankle. Find your pose. Begin to lengthen out of the side body, both right and left. Come into angle pose. So either bending the elbow, placing it on that thigh. Maybe some of you might be taking your hand all the way to the floor or even onto a block. Begin to straighten your forward leg,
for triangle pose. So remember, it's just about maintaining alignment over that forward leg, lengthening through the side body. Don't worry about having to reach the floor, because sometimes for a lot of people, then you lose your alignment. Begin to rise up, turn both toes to the corners of the mat, and drop into sun pose. Arms extended. And then lifting the arms over the head, keeping the shoulders down your back. Feel your strength. Begin to lift, turn your toes forward, standing straddle stretch.
Reaching for the outsides of the feet. Gently bend the elbows to guide you into a deeper stretch. Bring your hands underneath you. Lift into a half lift. You're parallel to the floor. And then see if you can extend the arms. Back is strong and straight. Keep lengthening through the crown of your head. Bring your hands to your waist and rise up. Warrior two, turning the left toes forward. Extending the arms, lowering into your pose. Begin to lengthen into angle. See if you can turn your gaze up. Stay strong in your legs. Triangle pose, extending the left leg, straight, reaching up. Begin to lift up, moving into the sun pose. Adjust your feet, bend your knees, taking the arms over the head, core muscles engaged. Can you lift maybe one heel or both? Can you sink maybe a little lower? We're just finding sensation and then staying with that feeling. Lifting toes forward, standing straddle. Bringing the torso halfway up for airplane. Feel your shoulders draw inward towards each other. Hands to the waist, rise up. Beautiful job. Step to the top of your mat. Bringing your feet hip distance apart. Bend your knees, arms up, chair pose. Rising, hinge forward, forward fold. Bend your right knee and take the left hand up for a standing twist, straightening that left leg. Forward fold. Switching sides, bending the left, reaching the right arm up. Keep pulling those belly muscles in, strengthening them. Forward fold. Half lift, gaze forward. Forward fold. Inhale, rising all the way up, mountain pose, and then hands to heart center.
We're going to keep our right foot connected to the mat and move into dancer pose. Take your left hand like you're serving a platter, grabbing the inside of the foot. Now press the foot into the hand and find your pose. Releasing and switching sides. Serve that platter, open the shoulder, grabbing the inside of the foot, lengthen and extend. So try to find something out in front of you that is not moving. Focus, breathe. Lifting up, mountain pose. Reach the arms up over the head. Exhale and fold. Lengthen the spine, half lift, and fold. Stepping back to a high plank position, shoulders over your wrist, drop your knees to the mat, sitting back into child's pose. Coming back forward, lower your belly all the way to the floor. Hands by your chest, or maybe even closer to the waist this time. Tops of the feet pressing into the mat. Begin to lift into cobra. Or some of you might lift your hips and knees off the mat for upward facing dog. Slowly with control, lower to the mat. Sweep your arms to your sides. Lift into locust pose, lifting the chest and the back of the legs up. Releasing, bringing the hands by the chest, pressing up, downward facing dog. Moving into pigeon pose on the right side, right knee to the chest, then out to the side as you lower down. Releasing that back foot. You can find your pose. So some of you might want to choose to stay up, others lower down. If you feel any discomfort in your knee, create the same shape from your back. Begin to lift up if you're not already there and swing that back leg around. We're going to do double pigeon today, flexing the feet and stacking the shins. Ankles and knees align. Feet remain flexed, stay here, or lean forward. To those of my students with super flexible hips, I might not be one of them. Coming out of the pose, find your sits bones, and we're going to move into boat pose, arms extended. Find balance, maybe extend the legs, or maybe you're keeping your back straight but you need to hold on. Find what works for you. Good. Come up, cross those ankles, step back to downward facing dog. Moving into pigeon pose on the left side. And again, take that option that works best for you. Begin to lift up. Swing that back leg around. Stacking your shins, flexing your feet. So if you look down, you're looking for a triangle shape. You are the top of the triangle. Your shins are the bottom. Sitting up tall or perhaps leaning forward. Moving into a seated fold, extending both legs out, toes up, reach up and over. Begin to roll down nice and slow, hugging the knees into the chest. Placing the feet on the mat, hip distance apart, arms to your sides, lift the hips and come into bridge pose. Walking your shoulders together, binding the hands if that is accessible to you. Continue to press your hips up. Lowering the hips to the mat, knees to chest. Extend the left leg out to the mat. Lift the shoulders, bring the forehead towards the knee and hover the left leg off the mat. Belly in, breathe. Lower down, move into your spine twist. Knees to chest. Left knee in, right leg out. Lift the shoulders, press the belly muscles down, engage, hovering that right leg, hold, breathe. Release into your spine twist. Rolling back onto your back. One last hug, the knees in, small circles for the back. And then dropping into reclining butterfly. Bottoms of the feet connected, knees wide. Gently close your eyes. Your hands on the midsection, just notice once again your breath. Moving into our final resting pose of Shavasana, extending the legs, resting our arms at our sides, eyes remain closed.
Find stillness. I'll be back with you in just a moment. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Beginning to wiggle the toes, the fingers. And let's take a full body stretch. Reach the arms over the head, lengthen, and then bend the knees, roll to your side. Pausing here to check in with our mind, our body. And if you've ever taken my class before, you know that I'm just going to say acknowledge the things you're thankful for today. Just bring them close to your heart. Focus on them. And then help yourself up to have a seat on your mat. You did beautifully. Let's bring our hands to our hearts. And from my heart to yours, namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice. I hope you loved it. If you did, please hit that like button, share it with a friend. I'd really appreciate it. Have a blessed day.